Hey guys, so today it's me and Garbrew. It's probably going to be me and Garbrew for we'll just find out and see what happens type of mentality. A bit of stuff happened to me as well, actually. My foot got infected, and you guys, I put up the poll. You guys are winning by 2%. Want to see it? So I'll go ahead and I'll show the fit pick at the end of the video. Jeez. And if you guys want to click off, you can click off. You know, a lot of people are saying, James, you know you're outdoing yourself here. Like, you know, you really should be getting paid for showing your feet. But, like, you know, I'm a man of the people.
Don't share your feet for free, homie. God damn it.
I know.
Make them work for those toes.
I know, exactly. But yeah, so me and Garbrew were doing evil or a neutral necromancy. So I thought this would be a good one for me and Garbrew because Garbrew, sure, he did the whole skeleton party. If you haven't heard that story, go ahead and check it out. I don't know what you're doing. It's his, well, wouldn't be your first story time, but, like, you know, it was the first one me and Megan did anyway. So go ahead, I'll link that down below. And let's just jump into this, will we?
Yeah, so I actually quite love necromancy in general because of what it is and how it's viewed as. So basically the thread starts out as, which one do you prefer? Necromancy being inherently evil, i.e. forcefully binding a person's soul into their rotting corpse to serve you an undeath, or neutral, i.e. being no different than animate object on a corpse. And it really depends on the necromancy in the setting. A lot of times, because the all skeleton party was literally the all skeleton party was me testing certain things for my main book series, actually. And the one thing I wanted was where necromancy is definitely, it's like having tattoos and piercings in the 1950s. Like, you can do it, no one's going to stop you, but they're going to really judge you and kind of demonize you for doing it because some folks don't understand, while some folks would.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
And the first post is generally evil, but how about good? A demon took over the world and perverted the cycle of souls. All who die will now go to hell. Necromancers are the heroes that give a chance for the imprisoned souls of the dead to fight once more for the living as well as for eternal rest, which is a pretty good plot point, actually.
They did that in, if any of you guys have actually, we've done a good few stories, like some really good ones about necromancy. And, you know, for me, I just love, I think undead or devils or demons seem to be, I think for me anyway, are my personal favorite, like, enemies. Also, I'm going to fight everyone that says Battletech is amazing, because fighting robots is boring and I don't care. Fight a robot in any video game, in any role-playing game, anything, there's something really boring about robots and I don't care, guys. I'm gonna hear the lane, but
you
like,
best
you know,
hope text don't find you.
Honestly, I don't care. It's dull. It's dull. Okay, I don't care. Robots are just not enjoyable to kill. But what they did in Undead and Understanding was people submitted themselves. Like, you know, it's like the necromancer asked them, like, "What do you want? Me to lease you up as an undead to fight this war?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." You know what I mean? And they kept a bit of their personality and what have you. And I thought it was a really interesting take. For me, now, really what it comes down to is necromancy slavery? You know what I mean? And I would argue slavery is one of the worst things that can happen to mankind. There's a few reasons for that. Not for any moral, obviously. No, I'm only joking, guys. No, what I would say is the problem with slavery would be, to me anyway, like, look at the Lumens. What would the Lumens been able to have hit like steam power for whatever reason if they didn't have slaves? Back whenever they had slaves, you could just throw more slaves at a problem to get a job done, be that mining or be that anything.
Pumping,
you know what I mean?
Or whatever else.
Yeah, if you've got enough manpower, you don't really need machines. Like, you know, do you need the internet to spread information when you can just get someone to run for it? You know what I mean? And by forfeiting slavery, it opens the door for so much technical innovation just by needs of having to do it. And that's where I view it anyway. That's where I think it's kind of interesting. There was also a really good, it was one of my last text speech videos where they did an undead computer, like supercomputer.
Yeah,
the
all
way
the skeletons,
gates
yeah.
work. Yeah, it was actually pretty interesting. It was actually really fun, and it was an interesting concept and idea. And I suppose that kind of goes back into the whole idea of a Goobot, or like
I hated it
artificial
because I couldn't
sleeve.
understand it very well, but you know.
Well, for me, it was one of the few times where I was like, you know what, I did electronic engineering, and I understood the references. Thanks, guys. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like a complete retard for once. It's like,
Thanks,
yes!
guys.
I know. I wasted, how many years? I wasted 4 years of my life doing a course that I will never have anything to do with, and I'm not very good at anyway. But I got a thread reference, so you know, jokes on you guys. But let's jump into the thread. Let's see what other people have to say. That would be our little thoughts on it. And remember, stay to the end if you want to see my necromantic foot. It's actually not that bad.
It looks like a fucking foot to me. It's all it looks like.
Yeah, no, it's just got a big red line down it. Everyone thinks it's like it's a proper nasty, but like, you know, it's really not that bad.
So, definitely evil as it prevents the soul from entering the afterlife. However, I've been toying with the idea of military necromancers resurrecting the fallen to form undead regiments. When questioned about the moral aspect, they state that the military contract all soldiers signed off on when joining the armed forces stated that they would serve body and soul for the duration of their contract. The contract of these lads has not expired yet; they still have to serve. I mean,
That's really good. That's actually pretty good. I actually think that's
well. If they still get paid and the pay goes to their next of kin, then honestly, there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. Because then you have like a very resilient men at arms, you know, that's still somewhat like lucid. They can still do stuff.
Well, it's more like it would be like if you're undead, do you really fear death anymore? You know what I mean? You're already dead. Is there any?
Well, I think the living would fear pain more than death, because death is rarely unpleasant, especially in military life. So they're going to feel a lot of pain, and then they're going to be able to feel no pain at all. But more than likely, I mean, it is. So this is where the point of what kind of necromancy are you messing with, and what are the rules to it? Because every single flavor of necromancy and its Baskin Robbins of narrations all behave differently. You got Evil Dead necromancy. You've got like basic bitch necromancy where there's no charisma from the undead. Then you have like Fido and shit where necromancy is just simply the guys coming to life and the memories are a bit foggy. It all depends on how the writer is demonstrating the necromancy behaving and the rules bound to those, you know, the magic itself. This is like a contract magic where necromancy does what it has to do, but my question would be is how much do those soldiers remember when they're jerked back up from the fucking floor of the battlefield?
That's a good one.
And like, how common is this? Because if you have two armies just bringing back dead boys, I mean, you don't really have manpower problems. You're just throwing the same dudes at each other over and over and over again.
Is it? Are you prolonging the fight? Like, how long can you prolong this war for? If you can't run out of, the only way to really stop it would be to kill the necromancer.
Like fire,
at least that's that's the only way I would.
Well,
that'll
leave a big issue where if someone snipes your necromancer, half your regiment's going to fall to the fucking ground.
Yeah, I always like that. I always go for that type of idea. If you kill the necromancer, the rest of them will go down. You know,
well,
type of mentality.
Usually it's because necromancy is viewed as a marionette, where all the strings lead to a single puppeteer. And I know a lot of times there's set it and forget it necromancy where you cast a spell and you're done, there's nothing left. And then there's upkeep necromancy where they constantly keep pumping out energy to keep whatever it is you're keeping alive going. It's like what was it called? Where you have like an IV line to each undead, but the ending IV's magical power, and you're constantly defeated there, or else the soul's gonna go bleh and the fucking just rack out.
Psst. Hey, lean in closer. This is fucking ASMR channel now. You know it's pretty fucking based. Titties. Go see titties. Lots of titties.
All the titties.
Go over to the website, check out all the models. You guys know the score. We have some really nice looking models over there. And we have a lot of
sci-fi gothic?
Yeah.
Let's call them sci-fi gothic.
And if models isn't your shit, we have loads of subclasses and we keep adding them every other week or so. We add a lot.
We got a lot.
Look, we've got big brains. We add shit. But yes, go over to the website, check out everything. If you haven't subscribed, what the fuck you doing? Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell as well, and let's get back to the video. And today's lucky winner is this guy. Well done. Well done. To claim your prize, just send an email to Neckbeardia contact@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the video.
So down below that one is, so is in real life grave robbing just not a problem to any of you? There's a reason why the desecration of the dead is generally seen as appalling and weird at best. And have you not heard of the Catholics or the Spanish? My God. Like, are you serious? There's skulls everywhere.
To be fair, this is the thing. I feel like grave robbing, I don't think anyone really cares about until it happens to someone that you know. Does that make sense? It's kind of like...
They touched Bobby's corpse and bones, you bastards.
Yeah, it's kind of like... oh, no, actually, I've got a good one for you. I don't know if you've seen this one. So this was... me and Megan were watching this documentary. This was about two, maybe 3 years ago. And it was about a guy who was he did like skin grafts and organ transplants and stuff. But so he was really high up, like New York surgeon. He had this private thing. It was only him that worked there, and he was like one of the best known surgeons in Manhattan, right? And beneath him or above him was a mortuary. And I am not making this up. He was literally like, I'll get the news article, but he was taking bones and stuff from like people with like hepatitis or like AIDS and shit, and he was given these like organ transplants and of course prions and all that type of stuff. God knows what type of stuff was going on, but they only found out when one of the bodies didn't end up getting cremated for whatever reason, and it was found that it was full of, I'm not making this up, PVC piping as bones. He put PVC piping back into the bodies to keep them like in shape. If that makes it any weird, it's the most fucked up thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's one of the few times I've been like, yeah, grave robbing's pretty bad, not gonna lie, like, you know.
I can see it being rude for sure.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to get like an AIDS bone from some like Manhattan fucking mad doctor? And the thing was, this doctor was really good. Like, he was really good at what he did, and he was very competent. It was just the biggest problem was he couldn't get his hands on
my man, just like bones, man.
Organs. Yeah, he couldn't get his hands on like organ transplants and whatnot quick enough. So again, it's kind of like a modern day. What was that one? You know, the Burke and Hare sort of story.
Oh yeah, Burke and Hare.
Yeah. Remind you of that almost.
They're at like a hotel or some shit, would just beam people and take them over to the fucking corpse.
Yeah. To be fair though, like, you know, at least with Burke and Hare, like, you know, this is another big problem. Like, you know, it comes down to the cost of scientific progress. You know what I mean? Like, what could we achieve? What could we do if just like morals were thrown out the window? And I think you could see that with necromancy to a certain extent.
Well,
you know, I
like,
feel like,
well, due to the next piece of story, it would have to be morally gray, if not morally black. So. It said, if you heard that someone dug up your grandma's corpse in real life and was chopping her into pieces or stuffing her corpse with leaves and, you're taking a screenshot, and herbs and shit to make her flesh servant, would you just be like, yes, might be a neutral act? Witchcraft of this nature absolutely existed in real life, even if it didn't actually work, and was seen as disgusting and appalling. Again, like, it's one of those things where you could always ask first, you know. Like,
yeah, I mean, oh no, you know what turned me. So I had my full. Oh, actually, no, I can't talk about that. So I put my full body down, like eyes and all, on like human donor lists because they get you to do it. Like, you know, they give you the option whenever you're like doing like diving lesson or whatever. Or they like give you, it's like, do you want to donate? And it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm gonna cut this out, so I am. But they're giving your skin and stuff to like. Get me off that right now. There's not a chance.
I am not being a good.
Yeah. So yeah, I just bleeped over all that for the video. So you guys are gonna have to work out what new stuff they're doing with human body parts that I can't have up on YouTube, and I can't really talk about it.
The forbidden foreskin.
Yeah. Oh my god. Right, next post.
I just listed a bunch of shit I think necromancy should be able to do beyond animating corpses, like talking to spirits, allowing mortals to experience the afterlife, etc. This isn't even crazy shit. 5e alone lets you do astral projection, curse people, blind/deafen people, kill shit in a billion different ways, clone people, give people AIDS, make the living.
You can give people AIDS in 5e?
I guess. guess. Pox,
I mean, it
upon you.
depends on you. Depends on your DM, I suppose.
Make the living appear dead, preserve corpses, store your soul, fully restore the dead to life, save people from dying, talk to ghosts, steal life essence, and create dead bodies ex nihilo. You could populate an entire society with just that shit alone. A caste of warriors who use necromancy to fight a caste of priests who prepare, talk to, and revive the dead. A caste of lawmen who inflict blights on the guilty, and all of that just in the most bland and uninspired fantasy game to ever do it. I could probably pick a more fleshed out magic system and run an entire campaign where all the magic that happens is exclusively necromantic and with no consequence. And this is stupid too. The consequence is that if you use necromancy to do evil shit, you're now evil. I can do all the evil necromancer shit with the BBEGs while also letting the PC/NPCs fill the roles of spirit mediators or avengers of the dead or whatever else. If you think that there isn't anything to be found in talking to dead people or being a walking bioterrorist or refuse to acknowledge that necromancy is more than just a zombie summoner, then maybe tabletop games are beyond your understanding. And this is where he's getting into my territory of what I want to do with the necromancy magic school, because there's a whole other book I want to write on the Veil Rider series that focuses around an undead village. And it's one of those things where, some folks don't want to fucking die. Like, there are people like, what? I don't want to fucking die. There could be a person with so much knowledge and wisdom that when they die of old age, it's all lost. And you could stop that by saying, hey, you want to live forever? And the real question is do the necromancers, are they immortal, or are they not, or are there means to become immortal, or is it mostly locked into races that live for a very long time? There's a whole lot of nuances. Like, say like you're a necromancer and like you don't live for a long time. At like 75, 80 years old, you're gonna fucking die, and it's all not gonna matter anyway. This huge undead is gonna go ugh and fall over. Know? But I like the idea of like the spirit mediators and avengers of the dead. Kind of like because it's kind of like a ghost detective agency, but they actually do detective work and try and find murders and shit.
Yeah. I think, they did that in Torchwood as well. Come to think of it, they used, like,
Torchwood,
essentially,
okay.
they used, like, it's a spin-off of Doctor Who, so it was, like, classed as, like, the more adult version, and the first episode, they used, like, this glove, which is essentially Speak to Undead, and they used it on, like, a murder case. It was actually kind of interesting, but I think, what this all boils down to for me, or at least what I'm picking up from all this, is I would argue it's the road to hell is paved with good intention.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean? And I think that's really what it comes down to. It's like most people fear death. Most people don't want to die. There's a lot of arguments for necromancy. When push comes to shove, maybe it's not that bad of a thing to do. But to say that it's not evil is, it's, I suppose you could argue it's kind of like murder or wargully, you know what I mean? Like, war's not great, war's not good, but when push comes to, sometimes you just have to do stuff, you know what I mean? Would that be a good way to look at it, maybe? Or...
I mean, it all depends. So necromancy, in my opinion, is actually a kind of thing that brings in a lot of morals of people into question. Like, so because some guys on this planet, they'll say, no, the soul has to go to the afterlife, and it's a huge moral quandary on if it's good or bad, because there are pros and cons to each for sure, and the cons must be present in place of necromancy, like it solely eats away your soul, or it drains you of energy if you have too many undead. But overall, I mean, necromancy is one of my favorite schools of magic because of how like controversial it is as a school of magic. Because there are actual good applications for necromancy, and there are people who just simply don't want to die, or some folks who understand they're too important to die. They have to be alive to keep sharing on wisdom, and things they know.
So that's where we're going to finish up, because Garblu's audio decided to shit itself, and I can't. Look, guys, I just can't fix it, okay? I've been fiddling about with it for like 2 hours now, and I just can't get it fixed, so I'm sorry, alright? But yeah, you guys wanted to see what my fit looks like, so here you go. That's what it looks like. It's really not that bad. So you can see like the redness has went way down, so it has. So if it goes out of that, I need to go back up to the hospital. Apparently it can kill you, but like, you know, I suppose it's blood poisoning, so you know that's not ideal. But yeah, I don't really want to say what's going on with Megan at the minute. I think it's more for her to say and make it public what's going on. You know, like she's not having a good time anyway. Let's just say like that. But she'll be on whenever she can, sort of thing. She'll probably be able to do like 2 videos a week, but most of the videos I think is going to be with Garblu, honestly, just because like, you know, it's put it like this, some of the worst news you can ever get. You know what I mean? Which is never nice. But like, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a bit unusual, a bit different. I really wanted to do this one with Garblu because, I mean, it's kind of Garblu's area of specialties. You know what I mean? So I thought it was worth doing. Like, if you haven't already, check out the website, check the models, all that sort of stuff. We do have some Necromancer models, so that's something to check out. I think that's about it. It's always awkward doing these. I feel so awkward whenever I do these by myself, you know. Like, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see you on Monday, hopefully with any luck, and hopefully Megan will be with us that day. So, look, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.